All right, guys, excited to show this particular release from Seiko. This is the SPB381 caliber 6R 54, retail price $1,500. Big thanks to Exquisite Timepieces for sending this over. I will give you direct contact information to a salesperson. You can tell that I sent you it for your best deal possible, as well as a direct link to this particular watch from their website. They carry the entire line of Seiko. There's like tiers in Seiko. They also carry Grand Seiko. They're authorized dealer for like 60 brands, plus they have a massive pre-owned collection. So if you can't find the watch you're looking for at Exquisite Timepieces, just ask. They'll get it for you. They have like no limits, guys. They have like no limits. You can get pretty much whatever you want. So let's get back into this guy here. You might recognize the case style. It's basically what we as Seiko enthusiasts have called the MM200 reduced. It's the smaller MM style case, I guess, if you will. This one seems really refined. It seems really clean, sharp edges. I can see no particular reason why I wouldn't add this to my collection. So I'm going to reach out to them, see what kind of deal I can get, and hopefully you'll do the same. But proportions here, let's cover that because they're basically perfect, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people. And as we do that, let's go ahead and zoom in. I tried to dial in the exposure, so hopefully you guys can see the greens and everything. Hopefully it's not. I'll try to get angles for you, but the case width is 42.1, so essentially 42 millimeter wide. You have the offset crown, so that's not really a factor. The lug to lug is a 48.6. Look how good the finishing is on this case. And yeah, you do add a little bit with the bracelet, but look at the angle of that. It's not really a factor, and 48.6 is already pretty sweet. So I don't have any problem there. Thickness, 42. It's 13.3 is what I measure online. I read 12.9. I measure 13.3. Sapphire crystal chamfered, sitting slightly proud of the ceramic bezel insert. You can also see one of the things I like about watches that draw me in is that little bitty metal ring going around in between the crystal and the bezel insert. This one being green with that just a little bit of pop of gold there on the GMT hand just plays really nice. Good color combinations. Unsigned crown, but it is machined really nice. Lug opening 20 millimeter. Nice bracelet tapering down to 18 millimeter. This is the perfect bracelet for this watch, in my opinion. This works very well with this watch. It's probably pin and collar. I didn't size it. Standard clasp system there. And most of you regulars will know that I actually dig this clasp. If I'm going with a Seiko, this is kind of the clasp I want. The milled center section I'm fine with stamped. 4 micro adjust, oversized fold over keeper, and just a double pusher there. Very easy and clean operation. The dive extension that none of us use, that's still there. Pretty standard fare with the case back. Has the blue sticker on there. If you buy one of these, take that blue sticker off. Will you do me a favor? Just take that off. Otherwise, it holds a bunch of junk. Look at the finishing on this thing and the way the bezel is done. Tons of traction. A more traditional looking bezel edge there. 120 click bezel action here. It is a dive. 200 meter dive watch, so it is a unidirectional bezel, and it lines up. The inner chapter ring, that's where your 24-hour track is, so you can track that second time zone easily. You're not going to get that third one because it's the dive bezel. And I was just talking to somebody about this at one of my meetups that I was trying to go off the top of my head. Now, of course, I'm going to bring it up, and you guys in the comments can sound off because you probably know of many more watches. But we were trying to name off the top of our head a GMT watch with an actual dive bezel, because more often than not, you get a GMT style watch or a GMT watch like this, and it'll have a GMT bezel as well to track like a third time zone. Well, I mean, you're already tracking 2 time zones. Like, who really needs to track a third one? I'd rather have the timing option. So this actually kind of makes more sense for practical purposes. Also, I noticed on the dial this, check it out. The Seiko Pro Specs is up top. Down below it says GMT. I think we can zoom in a little bit more actually. And then it says automatic 3 days. I have not seen that on a Seiko Pro Specs yet. Divers 200. So yeah, it has a 72-hour power reserve. This movement is the 6R54. It is a GMT. It is a caller's GMT. This is another discussion that I would love to have with people. Look how good that finishing is, guys. Super good brushing and polished. I think this watch is definitely a good price point. But caller versus traveler's GMT. What is the difference? Nice pop, screw down crown. Nice winding action, right? So one click out. Now here's where I'm going to be able to change the date and advance the 24-hour GMT hand, right? So it only goes forward. It doesn't go backward. Is it a big deal? No. I don't know what happened that we've all got it in our head, including me. I fell victim to it as well, that we think we have to have this true traveler's GMT. Some people don't like it because that's how you have to change the date. So I would rather have the quick set date is what a lot of people will say, right? So you click, so you can just easily change that. Now, if you want to adjust all of it together, or like basically how I use mine, most of my GMTs, is I just set it to that, so it's almost like an AM PM indicator, because I don't really need to track a second time zone. It's just another hand, a fourth hand on there that I actually don't really need. In this case, though, this is just a great looking watch, and it happens to have 72-hour power reserve and a very good look overall. So, I like dive watches. I don't really care for GMT watches necessarily, but if it has it, okay, I'm okay with that. Nice little gold hand on there to show off a little bit. No problem with me. All right, let's pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. This is classic Seiko. Just great feeling and looking on wrist. I feel like I don't have the exposure right. Still working on it. I want to show it next to the Seiko SKX so you guys have a size reference. Very similar. Very similar. I mean, the cases are totally different, but similar size. How about next to a turtle? Here it is next to a turtle. I don't have a Willard, but the turtle is going to be larger for sure. As good as, I mean, if you can wear a turtle, then you're going to love these MM200s. Same thing, if you can wear an SKX, you will love these because it is near, it's like a premium SKX, if you will, if that makes sense. Okay, let's give it a quick blast with the UV light. Let's kill the studio lights. Again, big thanks to the crew at Exquisite Timepieces allowing me to see these watches so I can share them with you guys. Classic Seiko Lume. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next vid.